Imagine this, you're standing in a crowded airport. Around you, families reunite, workers carry bags of cash to send back home, and across the world, millions wait desperately for the same thing: money transfers. Now here's the question. In this trillion-dollar remittance battlefield, who truly dominates, Western Union or MoneyGram? These are not just companies. They are empires built on migration, survival, and global movement of wealth. And their rivalry is nothing short of legendary. Western Union, the giant with roots stretching back to the 1800s, didn't start with money at all. It started with the telegraph, transmitting coded messages across America. But what began as dots and dashes soon turned into dollars and cents. Over time, Western Union became synonymous with sending money across borders, building a reputation of reliability that, for many immigrants, felt like a lifeline. For over a century, it was the undisputed king of remittances, expanding into more than 200 countries, planting its yellow and black logo in every corner of the world. But then came a challenger, MoneyGram. Born later, smaller in scale, yet with one mission: to eat into Western Union's dominance. MoneyGram positioned itself as faster, cheaper, and more customer-friendly, directly challenging the behemoth. While Western Union built trust through legacy, MoneyGram built appeal through accessibility. It knew that for millions of workers sending $100 or $200 back to their families, every single dollar of fees mattered. Think about this. Global remittances today are worth over $800 billion every single year. That's more than the GDP of many countries. For every dollar sent, fees can take away up to 10%. And those billions in fees flow directly into the pockets of companies like Western Union and MoneyGram. It's not just business, it's survival. When a worker in Dubai sends money to Manila, or a nurse in London wires cash to Lagos, the choice between these two networks can decide whether families get a full meal or go hungry. The irony: Western Union and MoneyGram both promise the same dream, instant global connection, yet their strategies couldn't be more different. Western Union is the skyscraper, built on old foundations but towering high, while MoneyGram is the nimble fighter, dancing fast, aiming where Western Union is slow, and this battle has shaped the way we think about remittances themselves. But here's the twist. Both companies face a silent threat, new digital challenges waiting in the shadows. While Western Union and MoneyGram duel, fintech disruptors are creeping in, rewriting the rules of money movement. The question is, are these old titans too heavy to dodge the blows, or will their global reach crush the newcomers before they rise? If this comparison is already opening your eyes, smash that like button, because what comes next will change how you see the entire remittance industry. And here is the question to leave hanging. In a fight where every second and every dollar counts, is legacy more powerful than agility, or does speed ultimately conquer trust? Let's strip away the branding for a moment and look under the hood. Because when it comes to raw mechanics, speed, cost, and technology, Western Union and MoneyGram operate very differently, and these differences could decide their future. Western Union, with its massive infrastructure, thrives on reach. Over 500,000 agent locations spread across the globe. In rural villages where internet signals barely exist, you'll still find that iconic yellow and black sign. That's its greatest strength: ubiquity. But with great infrastructure comes great cost. Western Union's network is expensive to maintain, and those costs trickle down to customers in the form of higher fees. The convenience of being everywhere often comes at the price of affordability. MoneyGram, on the other hand, has always leaned into efficiency. It doesn't match Western Union's reach, but it has strategically partnered with retail chains, banks, and digital wallets to punch above its weight. And while Western Union has traditionally been slow to innovate, MoneyGram has made bold moves into digital transfers. In fact, a surprising twist. MoneyGram was one of the first big remittance companies to partner with blockchain-based networks, experimenting with Ripple's XRP system long before Western Union took it seriously. That gamble put MoneyGram ahead in the race toward faster, cheaper digital remittances. But here's the brutal reality. Customers care about three things: speed, reliability, and cost. On speed, both Western Union and MoneyGram have closed the gap. Most transfers today can arrive within minutes. On reliability, Western Union still holds the throne, backed by its reputation of never failing across centuries. But on cost, that's where MoneyGram bites hard. In many corridors, like US to Mexico or Europe to Africa, MoneyGram undercuts Western Union's fees, making it the choice for workers who simply cannot afford to lose extra dollars to commissions. Still, there's a paradox. Studies show that millions of migrants continue to pay higher fees with Western Union simply because they trust the brand more. Legacy creates a psychological moat. People sending their life savings don't want to experiment. They want safety. And that's where Western Union's history becomes both weapon and shield. Now think about this. If you had to choose between paying a few dollars more for peace of mind or saving that money and risking delays or glitches, what would you pick? That's the battlefield. Western Union sells trust, MoneyGram sells efficiency, and the war is fought in every remittance corridor across the planet. What's your take on this? Drop it in the comments. Your perspective could shift the entire debate. But before you do, ask yourself, in a world that's rapidly going digital, is trust enough to keep Western Union untouchable? Or will technology finally tilt the scales in MoneyGram's favor? Now let's zoom out and see the battlefield not as it was, but as it is today. Because what truly matters is adoption. Who is winning the hearts, the wallets, and the trust of millions of everyday people? And this is where the story gets fascinating. Western Union may be the elder giant, but it still moves more than $80 billion in remittances every single year. Its global dominance is unmatched, especially in regions where cash is still king. Walk into a tiny shop in rural India, a kiosk in Kenya, or a street corner in El Salvador. Odds are, you'll see Western Union's sign. That physical presence is more than branding. It's a guarantee that no matter where you are, there's always a way to send or receive money. MoneyGram, however, has leaned hard into digital adoption. While Western Union was still anchored in physical agents, MoneyGram partnered aggressively with fintechs, mobile wallets, and even blockchain innovators. In some corridors, especially in the Americas and parts of Asia, MoneyGram's digital services outpace Western Union's in speed and cost. And here's the kicker. MoneyGram has been testing integrations with cryptocurrencies and stablecoins, while Western Union has remained cautious. But this isn't just about who moves faster. It's about who understands the future. By 2030, experts predict that over 70% of global remittances could be digital. Cash pickups might shrink, and mobile transfers could dominate. If that holds true, then agility beats scale. And suddenly, the underdog starts looking like the visionary. Still, there's a catch. Regulatory walls are high. Governments scrutinize money transfers for fraud, money laundering, and terrorism financing. Western Union has built compliance systems like fortresses, giving it an edge with regulators and banks. MoneyGram, while innovative, still carries scars from past regulatory battles, and that history makes some partners cautious. And here is the paradox that keeps this war alive. Families still line up in cash pickup centers because trust and habit run deep. A mother in the Philippines may prefer to hold physical cash instead of receiving digital credits. A farmer in Nigeria may not have reliable internet access, but can always walk to the nearest kiosk. Western Union thrives in these realities. So adoption is split between two worlds. The old world of physical remittances, where Western Union reigns supreme, and the emerging digital frontier where MoneyGram is staking its claim. But can either truly dominate both worlds at once, or will a third player, a fintech disruptor or even a blockchain-powered network, rise to capture what these two giants cannot fully control? If this tug-of-war between old and new is blowing your mind, subscribe right now to catch our next deep dive into the secrets of global money flows. And let me leave you with this burning question. In the race to own the future of remittances, will Western Union's empire adapt in time, or will MoneyGram's digital gamble pay off bigger than anyone expects? Here breeze, where the story turns from rivalry to revelation, because beyond the headlines of Western Union and MoneyGram lies a battlefield of risks, hidden opportunities, and seismic shifts that could shake both giants to their core. The first risk is clear: disruption. Fintech platforms like Wise, Revolut, and even crypto-based services are offering transfers at a fraction of the cost. A worker can now send $500 home for just a few dollars in fees, bypassing the old networks entirely. Western Union and MoneyGram, once untouchable, suddenly look vulnerable. Imagine being the king of a castle for centuries, only to see new bridges being built across the moat. That's what's happening right now. The second risk? Regulation. Both companies operate in a space that governments monitor obsessively. Any slip, whether it's money laundering, fraud, or compliance failures, can trigger multi-million-dollar fines or even bans from key markets. Western Union's advantage has always been its fortress-like compliance systems, but that strength also slows its innovation. MoneyGram, more agile, faces the constant danger of being squeezed by stricter oversight. But where there are risks, there are hidden opportunities. Western Union, with its unmatched physical network, could pivot into hybrid models, cash to digital, bridging the old and new worlds seamlessly. MoneyGram, already experimenting with blockchain, could lead the charge into stablecoin-powered remittances, making transfers nearly instant and almost free. If either one executes this pivot at scale, they could not only survive, but dominate a remittance market projected to hit over $1 trillion within the next decade. And here's the mind-shattering reflection. This is not just about sending money. It's about control over the very arteries of global finance. Migrant workers sending their hard-earned paychecks home. Families depending on lifelines from abroad. These are the veins through which the global economy quietly pulses. Whoever owns the remittance rails owns influence far greater than just profit. They own trust, connection, survival itself. So, when you look at Western Union and MoneyGram, don't just see companies, see empires battling for relevance in a world that may leave them both behind if they don't evolve fast enough. The real question is, will legacy and trust continue to buy loyalty, or will innovation and cost finally crown a new champion of remittances? If this journey opened your eyes, now's the time. Hit subscribe to Wealth Unlocked. Smash that like button and drop a comment with your take, because your perspective isn't just valuable. It could redefine how we all understand the future of money.